Today, I'm going to be making the Knott's Berry Farm Shortcake Mix. It says just add berries. That's a little bit deceiving because you have to add more than berries. That's just not, honestly, that's not even true. That's just a lie. I have a can of boysenberries. This was sent to us from Georgianne, so thank you very, very much to Georgianne for sending it. We're not going to fool with the boysenberries at all right now, so I'm going to set these to the side. We have made several of these Knott's Berry Farm mixes. The only thing I've really had issue with are the directions because they don't have like a separate section for things you need. You have to read all the way through the directions before, and then you have to like pick it out yourself and make your own list of things that you need. So for this recipe, you need a whole stick of butter. You need a 1/2 to 2/3 cup of water, and I've just put it in the middle of between 1/2 and 2/3. It said you need some cream. We have milk, that's what I'm going to use. And it said you were going to sprinkle the tops of these with sugar, so I just got a little bit of sugar out. The only difference between theirs and mine, they do say use a greased pan. I'm actually using, I have a cookie sheet here, I'm actually using one of these mats because this will keep anything from sticking to it. So if you have one of these mats or a piece of parchment paper, you can use that. You do need a, you don't need a mixer. You can do it with a mixer or by hand, but I got my mixer out, so it should be easier. You want to preheat your oven to 375 degrees. And in here, you have your mix. So it says, pour contents of this bag into a mixing bowl, cut in 1 stick of butter or margarine by hand or with a mixer until mixture resembles crumbs. Then you add your 1/2 to 2/3 cup of water to desired consistency. So that's what we're gonna do.
I'm gonna show the back of the bag. That's all you get.
Right, so you don't get like a separate section that says you need butter and whatever. But I mean, that is an out and out lie where it says just add berries. That it's
no, you need butter and water and
yeah, it's in sugar and cream. It's like they make these, but they don't actually expect anyone to take them home and make them. So the instructions have not been the greatest, but so I want you all to know that. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and put my paddle on here, and I'm gonna start with a piece of butter, and then as it's mixing, I'm going to add more. Okay, the butter is all gone. So now this is the point where you add the water. It's a 1/2 to 2/3 cup of water. And I'm just gonna add a lot of it and mix it again and see what happens. And then I can add more water if I need to. That worked, adding the water, but I did not add all of the water. Now it says to drop this, spoonfuls of this, which this seems like it's gonna be about a spoonful, onto your greased pan. And it says you should get like 8 of these, so I honestly have no idea. I'm just gonna have to wing it and we'll see. It says you get 8 to 10. So if I get even 10, that's okay. But then if I don't get that many, then I'll know that I've made them too small. So I'm just really trying to, I'll get them into a better form in just a second. I'm just really trying to gauge the size right now. Now I'm gonna, it really doesn't say to, it just says drop spoonfuls, so it really doesn't tell you what they should look like, but I think we're going for some flatter pieces. I don't know, that's just how I picture it, is to be like a little flatter. So that's how I'm gonna form mine, like into almost like little squares. That's probably not what their intent is at all, but since they They didn't say specifically. That's just how I've pictured it in my head. Okay, now at this point you want to brush each one. Like I said, it said cream. We have milk, so that's what I'm using.
It's gonna be like an egg wash. I mean, a milk wash.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly. I think honestly, it's just something to let the sugar stick, because we're gonna put some sugar on here before we put it in the oven, like that. And then the sugar. I don't know if I want to use. I think I'll just use my fingers. And put a little bit of sugar on each one. And then we're going to put this in the oven, and they're gonna bake for 15 to 20 minutes. I will probably go to 17 minutes, and then we'll be back. So we actually left them in for 19 minutes, and this is how they look. I think they look very, very pretty. They look like a biscuit. That's how they look, like a biscuit. So right now we're gonna let them cool, and then we'll be back. So I'm gonna open up my can of boysenberries and lay that there. And then these are basically, they're biscuits.
With sugar on top.
They're biscuits with sugar on top. So what you do is you open it up, and it fell apart, because I'm sure that's because I'm not gifted at this. And I'm gonna open this one up.
No, it's just a crumbly biscuit texture.
It's a crumbly biscuit texture. And then you take your boysenberries. You can do this with either boysenberries, or you can do this with the preserves, however you want to try it. And then it says to replace the top. So you can replace your top, yeah, as well as you can, because it's falling apart. But anyway, I'm going to do this with the same thing here, and then we're going to give this a try. Not that you all care about calories at all, but it's just something I always give to you in all of my videos across the board, so I'm going to give it to you now. This is for 2 ounces. 1 serving is 216 calories of just the base powder, but then we added a stick of butter, which our sticks of butter are 800 calories. So there's a whole stick of butter you have to divide. And then we put a little bit of milk, which doesn't even count to me. And then we put a little bit of sugar, which, you know, it's just a little bit. And then the boysenberries, you get a half a cup for 120 calories. So, you know, you just have to work that out for yourself, or do what we do and just enjoy it. You know, if you're making a dessert, then it's just meant to be enjoyed. And I do want to try that by itself. You do too?
Yeah, I want to know how much different it is from just a
biscuit. The texture's different.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I hate to say this, I don't really like it by itself.
I don't think it's bad. I think it's not bad, plain.
But it's not as good. I'm just gonna compare it. Bisquick has a richer flavor, whereas this tastes very floury.
I do really like the texture of it, though.
The texture's good, and I like the sugar on top. It adds a little bit of crisply.
Yeah, I do like the texture of it.
But you can do that with Bisquick too.
It is more crumbly, but it's also. I know you can't say a biscuit's crunchy, but it has a. I don't know how to explain it right. A biscuit is much softer. This is not as soft as a biscuit. This has there's some hard edges to this.
Sorry, C went down the wrong way.
Yeah, this has some hard edges to it, but I like that a lot. I really do like the texture. So, I would say...
The flavor is just very floury.
I would say it's a good mix if you're going to add something else to it. If you're going to eat them plain, which I don't think most people are buying these to eat them plain. No. If you're going to eat it plain, I wouldn't get this mix. but I think that same mix would be delicious. I know Knott's Berry Farm's all about the boysenberry and all that, and this would be great. Like, it's good with these boysenberries or their preserves, but
or butter or anything.
That's what I was That's what I was getting at. I think this mixture would be good with if you put butter and like honey.
Yeah,
I think it would be delicious. So you don't have to use boysenberries, of course, but that's what they're trying to sell as boysenberries. But the only thing, like I said earlier, I do think they need to work on the instructions on the back, because there should be a little section what's needed for this.
Yeah,
because
a half cup of water.
That's just like George Ann bought these, and on the front it said just add berries. So George Ann probably didn't know, hey, they're gonna need other things, which is not a big deal for us. But I know to other people, they want, you need to know what you need for the recipe, because then you think, oh, I'm just going to need berries. Well, what if you didn't have butter at home? So they should just have a little separate section.
Yeah, just one little list. It wouldn't add that much
just
to
like on the back of any box of cake mix or anything.
It's like a marketing person wrote it and not somebody that actually cooks.
Yes, it's like, that's what I was saying. It's like they think that you're going to buy these and give away, and that nobody's actually going to make them, because that's how they wrote it. Like, they wrote it like it's in some book that you're reading and you're never going to actually apply it.
Yeah, and cream. Exactly what do they mean by cream?
Yeah, it said cream.
They mean heavy whipping cream? Do they mean...
Yeah, what do they mean by cream? Because that's not something we have, so that's why we used milk. It ended up working
it ended up perfect, because it was really just holding the sugar in place.
Yeah, so the milk worked fine.
But, yeah, they need to work on their directions.
They do need
Not
to
that they'll probably ever watch this, but they need to work on their directions.
No, but it is, I do think it's a good mix.
It's good, and the boysenberries are good.
Don't plan on eating it plain. Just plan on adding something to it if you buy it. So thank you so much to George Ann, and thank you all for watching.